Real people, real celebrities, real talk.
Join the Breakfast Club.
Blast off in your
Weekday
ear.
morning, 6 to 10.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. Got a special guest in here from Brooklyn, New York.
The legend.
The legend.
The man.
He's not a rapper, though.
He said the man.
He's not a rapper. Larry King, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, good morning to the Breakfast Club.
Good morning.
What do you, I don't see any breakfast.
Everybody says that. We gotta
Everybody
get
says that.
breakfast.
And you know what's so crazy? Our producer is a chef. We've been here for almost 5 years. He's never brought no dishes in here ever.
So this is a live Breakfast Club.
It's
The
a
whole
farce.
thing, the whole thing is
farce.
based
Yes.
on
It's a
lies.
farce.
But I have coffee.
Yeah, we
That's
do have
breakfast.
coffee and water. That's all you're getting here.
When did the inmates took over the asylum and radio when? I come in here and there's 8 radio stations here.
Yeah.
Right? Even WOR, which used to carry my old show when I was on Mutual.
Got you.
How did that all happen?
It's this thing called iHeartMedia.
Oh, I heard that was
It used to be Clear Channel.
Clear Channel.
They just bought everything up.
Yeah, I know. That's out of San Antonio, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, see, I know these.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Ran by a guy named Bob Pittman.
I know Bob Pittman very well.
He's the big boss.
Bob, for a time when AOL merged with Time Warner, and Bob Pittman was one of the executives there. I knew Bob well, and Bob used to be a disc jockey in Chicago,
Yep.
He's
That's
been
why.
getting
That's
money
why
a
he.
long time.
And that's why he knows his talent so well.
and he's running this whole thing.
He's
He runs
running
the
the
whole
ship.
thing.
And they switched to iHeart, huh? Meaning like all of you guys have heart.
I think it's like I Love
Like
Media.
I love media. I love
yeah.
radio. I love television.
I feel like we're being interviewed.
Yeah, you can.
Well,
Let's
that's
turn
what
this
I
back.
do.
Yeah,
But
no,
it's hard.
That's what I do.
I mean, that's your thing, though. You're an interviewer, so it's hard.
So it's
for you to
very
be in the other
hard. No,
seat.
I understand it. I go with the flow, but I just it just hit me because I've been in radio, television 58 years, and when I started, you had a radio station, and you had one radio station, and somebody owned that radio station, and there wasn't 17 radio stations in one building, all keeping up with each other.
Right.
Or it doesn't matter as long as you're beating the other 16, which we are, except for Z100. They're a monster.
Z100 is the monster.
They're number
Oh, yeah,
one. We're
yeah,
number
yeah,
two.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's the same family, so it's all good.
What are the call letters of Z100?
I have no idea.
WHTZ.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, is it?
yeah.
Oh,
WHTZ.
WHTZ.
And what's the call letters of where we
Larry,
are?
you gotta stop. man. We gotta interview
WWPR.
him.
Okay,
You
all
gotta
right.
stop now.
But this is how you got your start in the business
You
radio.
gotta stop right now.
That's right.
Let's start with Larry King. King
Okay.
is not the original name, right? What
No,
was
my name was Zeiger, and I all I wanted my whole life was to be in broadcast. I just wanted to be on the radio. When I was 5 years old, I wanted to be on the radio. I used to imitate radio announcers. I would listen to shows like Suspense and The Shadow, and then I would pretend I was an announcer. And then I'd get odd jobs. I didn't go to college, and I got out of high school. My father died when I was 9. So I got a bunch of odd jobs here in New York. Grew up in Brooklyn. Went to Dodger games and lived my life and worked for United Parcel Service, Hearns Department Store. And
Let me tell
always,
the young bucks, when you were growing up in Brooklyn, the Dodgers played in
Yeah,
Brooklyn.
the Brooklyn
not
Dodgers.
in L.A., right?
This guy named Jackie Robinson, you may be familiar
so
with.
in
I
case
was
they
at
don't
his
know.
first game.
Wow.
And I interviewed him twice.
Really?
Interviewed him once in 1960 and then once about 3 months before he died.
How did you feel at his first game? Were you one of those people that were against it?
Oh, what are you kidding? Against it. We were all for it in Brooklyn. We loved him.
Got you.
Oh, yeah. And the movie 42 accurately portrayed that, too.
Really?
Yeah, I was sitting up there in the bleachers. But anyway, so I knocked around a whole bunch of odd jobs, and somebody suggested I go down to Miami. And
Never
I
a bad idea.
knocked on doors, and a small station there hired me. And I got my first job. It was May 1st, 1957. And I was about to go on the air, and the guy said, well, what name are you going to use? And I said, well, my name is Larry Zeiger. He said, no, that won't go, because people won't know how to spell it, and a little ethnic. Figure it out, a little ethnic.
Right.
So
Why not Larry Z?
Larry Z, that would be now.
Okay.
Larry the Z.
Okay.
But he had an ad open in the Miami Herald for King's Wholesale Liquors. And he said, why not Larry King? And I said,
Better than Larry Liquor.
You could have been
Okay.
Larry Liquor. That'd have been
Yeah.
hot. If he was
Larry
doing like
Wholesale.
porn radio.
Yeah, could you imagine if it was BJ's, it'd be Larry BJ, you know, anything.
anyways, Larry King.
Okay.
And so I sat in the studio, and I had Les Elgart Swinging Down the Lane was my theme song. I was so nervous, man. Because remember, this is my lifetime wish.
Right.
I'm 22 years old, and since 5, I wanted to be on the radio.
Right.
And now here's my big chance, $50 a week. I was on from 9 to 12, and I did sports and news. You did everything then, small station. And the music started to play, and I faded the record, and nothing came out.
Oh.
And I brought the record back up, and nothing came out.
Stage
Nothing.
fright?
I was scared to death.
Oh man.
And the general manager kicked open the door to the studio, and he said, "Damn it, this is a communications business. Communicate." So he shut the door, and I did something then that I would do today. I was just honest. And I turned the record down, and I said, "Good morning, my name is Larry King." That's the first time I've ever said that. I've just been given that name. And this is my first day on the air, and I'm scared to death. And I wanted this all my life. I told the audience the truth. And you can never go wrong when you tell the truth.
Never.
Absolutely.
So for 3 hours that morning, if I miscued a record or I goofed up on a commercial, they're saying it's his first day, you know.
Right.
So they were in my corner by taking them into my corner. I was never nervous again. 58 years later, I've done comedy, I've done on stage, I've done stand-up, I've done interviews, I'm seen around the world, I've done radio, television, podcasts, FM, news, everything.
Right.
I've never been nervous since that first day because I learned something that first day. There's no secret.
There's no secret.
Just be yourself.
Be yourself.
If it works, it works. You can't make the audience. If the audience listening now didn't like the Breakfast Club, there's nothing you can do to make them like it.
Right.
I agree. I totally agree with that.
All you can do is be yourself.
Be
If
yourself.
it works, it works. You know, it ain't brain surgery.
Not at all.
Do you ever feel like when you interview somebody, they're lying to you? Can you tell?
Sometimes you think that, but all you can do is all you can do. You try your best. You ask the best questions you can think of. You follow up. You listen to the answers. You don't know every secret in the world. You can't know every, you know. If people were in a building talking about something, I wasn't in the building. If they're telling me what they said, if I have facts to refute it, I try to bring that up. But, hey, I've been doing this a long time. I've interviewed people like
Malcolm X.
Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, Frank Sinatra, 7 presidents, world leaders. I've done speaking tours in South Africa and Moscow. And
Who was your favorite? Who was your favorite interview?
boy, I can't pick out one. Sinatra maybe because he was hard to get, and he didn't do interviews, and Jackie Gleason got him for me, and that was like a big thrill. But I never had a favorite. I have so many, you know. I've done 60,000 interviews.
Wow.
So I'm just happy to learn things. Malcolm X was one of my favorites. Mandela was just a great guy. When I was in South Africa, I went to his house, and he wore suspenders in my honor. Because I have suspenders on now, but I'm freezing to death. So I'm wearing a sweater. What's going on here?
It's freezing. But you said
In here in particular?
In the city.
Oh, in New York.
Not
yeah.
in here. Why are you wrapped up?
I'm always cold in here. I think it's freezing.
I read that you want to freeze your body when you die.
I just taped
Dr. Oz.
Dr. Oz yesterday, and he showed me what happens when they do that, and it makes a lot of sense to me. For I don't believe that I'm going anywhere. I'm not religious, so I believe that when you die, and that's it. So I'm so curious, and I like living, and so I want one little chance. So if I'm frozen, and then they find a cure for whatever I died of, and they can kill me, is that better than laying in the ground or being burnt while you're dead? Those two ways you can't get out. But I figure if I can be frozen, and then something happens. My wife says to me, though, yeah, but what if you wake up 200 years later? You don't know anybody. I said, I'll make new friends.
Yeah, I think you'll be fine.
That's what I like. So it's the one-way grab at eternity to live, because I don't want to not exist.
Right.
And you
I think it's the biggest fear people have. I think they may say they don't. You know, I know I'm going somewhere. You don't know.
So are you a atheist, or you just don't believe in religion, organized religion?
I'm probably an atheist. I respect religion. I've interviewed every great religious leader except the Pope. I've interviewed, the Billy Grahams and the heads of the Mormon Church and then the Presbyterians and everyone. I've interviewed the great leaders of Islam. I don't buy it. I think the only reason for religion is death. If you didn't die, there'd be no religion.
What turned you away from it?
Probably not getting answers to questions. The simple answer you get all the time is when you ask, why does a baby die? Why is there a Holocaust?
I think that's because God gave human beings free will.
Yeah, well, you didn't get free will for Katrina. So I asked those questions. Why did God allow Katrina and people got swept up and died?
Right.
And the typical answer is, we do not question the ways of the Lord. Well, I do question the ways of the Lord.
Especially an interviewer like you.
Yeah, and if I don't get answers,
You don't believe.
I question it. Someone asks, well, what if you could interview God?
What would be the first question?
Do you have a son?
Now, you mentioned your
If he would say no,
right.
chaos throughout the Christian
Throughout
world.
the world.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned your wife. How many? You were married 7, 8 times?
7.
Wow.
Why not make it
One
8?
twice.
One twice.
Why not go for 8?
He's married.
He's married
Well,
now, Charlamagne.
I'm married 18 years now. I've got my wife's much younger. We have 2 young boys, 15 and 14. They're both baseball players. In fact, the 15-year-old is down in Florida. We live in Beverly Hills, but my wife let him go to Florida to play baseball at IMG, a very famous baseball academy. Derek Jeter went there. And so he's in school in Florida, playing baseball every day. I just went to visit him last weekend. He's a great kid. And the 14-year-old's playing baseball at Beverly Hills High. So I got young kids. I got a beautiful wife. In fact, people see me and my wife, I'm 81. And people see us and I know what they're thinking.
How old is she?
She's 55. So that's 26 years. So I know what they're thinking.
What?
They look at me, they look at her. Hey. So I always say the same thing.
That's not what I would think. I think like, wow, Larry's penis is still getting hard.
No, what I say is, if she dies, she dies. You get another girl.
That's easy to say when you've had 8 wives already.
Life goes on.
7.
I don't
Seven
regret any of it. I have
You
3
gotta love
grown.
Larry King, boy.
I have 3 grown children. I've had a hell of a life, man. I mean, from the little 5-year-old kid in Brooklyn who wanted to be on the radio, to be seen all over the world, to get a lifetime achievement from the Emmys,
Peabody Awards.
Peabody Award. I can't. I pinch myself every day. I consider a lot of it lucky. I mean, you have to be good. I know I'm good at what I do, but there's luck involved too.
When did you realize you were a good interviewer?
Well, when I started, I was doing a show at a restaurant in Miami Beach. I was 23, and Bobby Darin, great Bobby Darin, walked in, and then Jimmy Hoffa came in, and I didn't prepare for them because I didn't know they were coming.
Right.
And I got to love that. I got to love asking questions. But if I look back long enough, I was asking questions when I was 9 years old. I'd get on a bus and, why do you want to drive a bus? I'd say to the bus driver, what do you get out of driving a bus? When my friends and I would go to ball games, they wanted autographs. I never wanted autographs. I used to wait outside locker rooms and ask questions. I'd run down the street. Why'd you bunt? Why'd you do that in the third inning? What made you take that shot? So I naturally went into it. As we started here today, I started by asking, what is it, so many radio
Right,
stations?
absolutely.
What do you do? Why do you call yourself the Breakfast Club? There's no breakfast. Those are things that are constantly on my mind. And what made me good at what I did was I asked simple questions. I asked 1-word, 1-sentence questions. Why is a great question. And I never got out. I remember when I was a kid, when I first got to Miami, I had $11 in my pocket. I stayed with my uncle. I was very poor. We were on relief when my father died. And first thing I saw was 2 water fountains. And one said white and one said colored. And I drank out of the colored water fountain. It was very good, by the way. It was cold.
You thought it was going to be Kool-Aid.
And so I started saying, why? Why are there 2? Then I got up on a bus to go from Miami over to Miami Beach. And I sat in the back of the bus, and the bus driver stopped the bus and said, move forward, because the back of the bus is for coloreds and the front of the bus is for whites. And I said, why? And I still have never got an answer to that question, because why should pigment mean anything?
Right.
So I never got an answer.
You asked me that when I was on your show, Larry King Now. You was like, why do people hate on other people for the color of their skin? I'm like, I really don't know.
I don't know what. So all prejudice.
Right.
I don't know why I'm heterosexual. For example, I like women, but I don't know why I like women. I didn't choose it. In other words, I didn't get up one day at age 11 and say, I think I like women. So why would someone get up one day and say, I think I like men, right? You don't know why. It's probably a gene. It's probably something. No one knows why they are what they are.
So why be against it? Why, you know what I'm saying? Why
Yeah,
be prejudiced
why be
towards
against
someone?
it
Right.
if you don't know why? I mean, and also, as Ross Perot told me, the South was economically stupid. I mean, they'd build a building, and they'd have to build 2 bathrooms for men instead of 1. I mean, but idiotic. They would deflate. If they didn't educate their black citizens, how could they expect them to thrive economically? So that's why your lowest economic states are the Mississippis and Alabamas,
Right.
because they didn't bring. So you lose. Segregation is idiotic financially. Forget morally. It's idiotic financially.
Right.
It's idiotic.
Put it like that. Absolutely
And,
right.
and you actually marched. You marched in Miami.
I did,
So
we-
the beaches could be
We
segregated.
integrated the beaches,
Did you
and
say?
Integrated. I mean,
I was like,
yeah.
what?
Integrated.
So black people could be on the beach.
Black people couldn't be on the beach. Do you know how
That's
bad it was?
crazy.
I mean, this is in our lifetime. In 1963, 63, that ain't that long ago. If Sammy Davis swam in a pool in Las Vegas where he was entertaining, they emptied the pool and refilled it.
Wow.
Sammy Davis, as loved as he was at the time.
They emptied the pool.
That's crazy.
Could you? I mean, it's hard to believe that. Harry Belafonte integrated the Hilton Hotel in Miami Beach in 1965. And what they used to do in Miami Beach, where I lived, the black entertainers would play on Miami Beach, and then they would be put in a very nice hotel in the black area in Miami. And Harry Belafonte, who I love to this day, I was there when he was checking in. He was going to open that night. And they said, Mr. Belafonte, we're glad to have you, and 2 shows, and you can rehearse, and your hotel is across the bay on the other side. And he said, why? He said, well, that's where our Negro entertainers stay. And he says, where I play is where I stay. And they checked him in. And then he said, and my troupe also has to stay where we play. And he had 12 black singers behind him, and they integrated that hotel.
How long did it take y'all to get the beaches integrated after the march?
Oh, he hit that quickly. Once, it happened. So look how fast. Once you start a movement, you can't stop a movement.
Right.
Once, I knew Martin Luther King very well. He was so spot on. Once you start to show people, when television did it, when I could put you on television and show a black man merely walking across a bridge, and they hit him over the head, the average guy looking at that and the children, why? Back to that old why. You don't get an answer. There is no answer. It's just stupid.
Right.
So the more you see that, and then now you have gay marriage, because people start to say, it ain't my business. It ain't, what do you care?
What do I care? Everybody should be allowed to get married and be miserable.
He's
Now,
stupid.
can I ask your opinion on something that's happening now with Brian Williams?
I feel so sorry about that. I like Brian, and I don't know what it is. Why people do things for self-aggrandizement, Did Brian Williams have to say he was in a helicopter?
No,
not
at
at all.
all. He don't have to be in the action. I don't turn on the news to
I
hear
don't
you
know.
be a part of the
I don't
action.
know what that means.
Yeah, me neither.
But
And
he's
that's
been
what-
suspended, and
I know it'd be hard for him to come back. The hard part will be it'll fade for a while, but once he comes back, you'll start talking about it again. And if he has to do a story on a helicopter mission,
Nobody's ever
we're
gonna
going to laugh. Or if he has to do a story, he's got to interview a politician who got caught in a lie. He's going to be in a tough spot.
Oh yeah, the politician be like, don't question me about lying, Brian.
That's right.
well, maybe he should just come out and be honest about it and say why. Is that a
Yeah,
good
but he
move?
may not know his own.
I don't think he knows why either. I think he just
Sometimes
did it just dumb.
people are. Nobody's perfect, and everybody has done things. Everybody has something in the closet that there's something about you that you wouldn't want known. I think I know.
Uh-oh.
Come on, Mr. King.
Tell us.
Just tell us.
You know, we actually go way back. Let's not. You know.
Oh.
You that old, Yee?
She's
No, but she go
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
See, but you can do that on radio because then now the whole audience is thinking like, what?
Yeah.
What? Nice seeing you again.
Nice.
See,
In
now,
this decade.
I had nothing to do with that. You know.
No, why are you getting nervous?
Don't tell anybody. This is just, you know.
This is see that little nervous laugh. You were always that way.
Well, let's talk about your suspenders. How many pairs of suspenders do you have?
Well, now I got red ones. I have. I was on Morning Joe this morning. On
Right.
MSNBC. I have about 100 and about 300 ties. I have more ties than suspenders because you got to match them off. The way I wore suspenders was an ex-wife of mine, Sharon. I had gotten. I'd had a heart attack and heart surgery and lost a lot of weight.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to wear sweaters on television. I've been on television and radio all my life.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, you look pretty good. Why don't you try wearing suspenders? Might be a different look. And nobody on television wears them.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried them, and some people called in and said that looked good. And I got to like the look. So it became part of me, and it became part of the scene.
Absolutely.
So I never got contact lenses because people know me with eyeglasses.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, everyone needs a kind of look.
They have a signature thing.
Like you have a look.
Hoodies and Timbs, baby.
Bummy.
It's called
No.
bum, yeah.
Yeah.
There's something amazing to me about the jean world.
These are PRPS jeans.
Yeah, now they're all torn up.
Well, yeah, because no, very interesting story about this. Ask me why. Why they're torn
Don't
up.
do it. Let's move on.
My wife told me it costs more if they're torn up.
They do. Like, these
What?
cost a lot, but the guy, he's from Virginia, so what he does is he'll go in, like, abandoned houses and, like, barns. He'll drive all through the South and find old clothes and then make replicas of them. So that's what he does.
Now, if I came home wearing that with my mother 60 years ago, she'd have said, "You're doing bad? Can I help you? What's going on?
Now the bummy look is in. You seen Kanye's new clothing line?
What is all bummy look?"
All looks torn
Bummy
up and
look.
ragged.
It's
It
a little
looks terrible.
graphic, a little nasty, disgusting. It's not
So
too
here
bad.
comes a why question.
Okay.
Why?
You
Why
know,
do you wear that?
That is a good question. It makes me feel comfortable, though. Like, I'm from the country, so I don't like all of that flashy, fly
He
stuff.
tried it for a little bit. It didn't work out for him.
Actually, Charlamagne used to get his jeans custom made.
No, I did that once or twice because
Leather
it was
pants,
actually
all that.
cheaper to get them made. I used to know this little African dude. He used to get materials, and he could sew me some jeans. I could give him $60. He'd make me a great pair of jeans.
So you thought.
How much do these cost?
Well,
Like $350,
Larry,
$350.
but I didn't pay for them. PRPS shows me a lot of love. I would never pay $350 for a pair of jeans.
But that's what they cost.
Yes.
If you ripped them a little more, would it be more?
Nobody would even notice. But nobody would notice. It'd be hot. Like, these look worn like moths ate them and stuff.
Yeah, they really look bad. No, I mean, they look like you just got out of Auschwitz.
Now,
You released.
Larry King, I have to ask you about social media and how it affects everything today, being that obviously you've had so much experience.
No, I'm on the internet now every day on Hulu.
You be tweeting. You tweet.
Yeah, I tweet. I got 2,800,000 followers.
Do girls hit you up on DMs and stuff like that? Still
Yeah,
try to
you
holler
ever,
at
you
you?
ever been in a chick's DMs, Larry?
What's a DM?
Direct
Direct
message. That's a
Oh, here,
private
what-
message.
No, I don't. I dictate my tweets. I don't. I don't type them out. I don't text. In fact, here's my phone. I have a flip phone.
It's flips.
flip
I haven't seen
phone?
one of those in a
Man,
minute.
come on. Now, you work for $150 million. You can't
gotta
have
get
a
I'm not
flip
worth
phone.
it.
phone than that.
Somebody
Larry
send this
King.
guy a phone.
I
Okay?
tell you why I like it.
You can't even send a penis pic on that
Why?
phone.
It's a phone. I can put it against my ear. Two, I find that people with iPhones, my children and others, it controls them.
I agree.
And I was a smoker. I wound up having a heart attack. And when I look back, the cigarette controlled me. And I look at people with iPhones. I go to dinner with some guys where they're not there with me. They're looking at their iPhones.
That's
all
me
the
and all
time.
my friends.
Oh, you got to do the trick. The trick is you make everybody put their iPhones in the middle of the table, and whoever reaches for their phone first has to pay for the whole bill.
Oh, I see. I don't need. Why do you need that kind of? So I guess I can always get the news. I can always get scores. I don't. I like to communicate verbally. Maybe because that's the way I was raised and been doing it all my life. Text is a cop out to me. I can see you're in an emergency situation, but why text when you can call?
Absolutely.
But do you think for journalism that Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of those things, do you think that helps or hurts?
It's
what it
both.
Mhm.
It's both. For example, if you never invented an airplane, you'd have never had an airplane crash, right? So all advances bring some detractors. One of the problems when you have all this 500 television stations is instead of getting it right, you want to get it on quick.
Right.
So you have a lot of misinformation. So a lot of wrong things go out on Twitter. A lot of lies go out. A lot of misinformation. That's the bad. The good is you learn a lot in a lot of places.
But don't you think social media like makes the court of public opinion more deadly because the lies
Oh
can
yeah,
spread so fast?
and it goes so
Like,
fast.
look at the Bill Cosby situation.
Yeah,
Like they even used one of your old viral clips where Bill
The
Cosby
Spanish fly
made the
clip.
joke about Spanish fly.
Yeah,
And now they're like, see, this shows he's guilty.
yeah, but we didn't know it then.
Right.
But you're right. If you make a mistake today, it's around the world.
Absolutely.
But if something big happened right now, the whole world knows it in the next minute,
Absolutely.
and that's social media. It's a moot to even talk about it because you can't stop it. Every advance keeps going. I mean, that's the problem with terrorism. Someone somewhere in this world is working on a miniature bomb that he can get through an airport. Right? There's probably someone working on that. How you going to stop it?
You can't.
Can't. No way.
Do you have any guests that don't like you? Because I read a story about how you pissed off Seinfeld one time.
Well, because he said he didn't mean it. But I'm friendly with Jerry. In fact, he says that I started Twitter with my old column in USA Today, where I used to do extemporaneous. It's my 2 cents. But Jerry was on the show, and I asked him, why did Seinfeld go off the air?
No, that's not what you said. You said is his show canceled.
I didn't say show canceled.
Oh.
You made that up, Charlie.
Well,
didn't
guys
say-
who wear
you didn't
jeans
say
like
his
that
show.
make up.
Yeah, okay.
No, I said, was your show canceled? I didn't know that he said, we were number one, and he got a little tiffed. And I said, I just didn't know because I'm on the air so much. I'm on television, I'm on radio, that I don't get to watch
Right.
a lot of things. And I don't read gossip columns, and I don't read a lot. I read a lot of sports, certainly a lot of news. I stay up on things. But I don't know chatter columns. I don't know who's sleeping with who. So I don't know if a television show is canceled or it goes off or a guy's sick. I don't
Gotcha.
I don't read the tabloids. So I didn't know. So he says, he took offense to it, and then he later said he was kidding, but I don't think he was kidding.
Right.
But I love Seinfeld. By the way, I watch probably more Seinfelds than any other show because Larry David, who conceived it, is a genius. He's opening on Broadway now.
I wanted
Y'all
to
look like y'all could
play
be
so
related too,
bad.
by the way.
What?
Y'all look like y'all could be related in some way. You and Larry David.
Because we're both named Larry.
And you wear glasses. It's just a demeanor about y'all look like y'all could be related. Y'all from the same tribe, as we say.
Wait a minute.
Oh.
I take that as a little bit of a put down.
Oh.
I'll tell you why.
Why?
2 guys named Larry, both wear glasses, same tribe. Are you discussing perhaps the Hebrew faith?
Oh,
Wow, it was a little.
nah.
yeah, it was a little-
What did you mean by tribe?
Oh, and tribe is like when you look like somebody. They say you're from the same tribe.
That's
Like
hip.
for me, like Tyrese would be my tribe. Young Jeezy. Do you know these people?
No.
No.
No, but they're all black with bald heads and like my height.
Oh, so I see. So
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
a compliment in a sense.
yeah.
If the person looked handsome,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Like he's
it all
from the-
depends
I
how
didn't
you
mean-
think. If you think Larry David's handsome, it's a compliment.
Well, I don't take it as a compliment.
But Charlemagne and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are from the same tribe.
Yeah,
They all
they said
look
yeah,
alike.
exactly. Me, Young Jeezy, a
You
guy
know-
named Neo, and Jadakiss. We're the Teenage Mutant Ninja
The
Turtles.
world got so hip. See, to me, hip, Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
First, you understood the lyrics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I understood every word he was saying. Now, I hear a lot of the young singers today. I got nothing against them. My kids listen to it. I drive in a car, and my kids are listening to music. I don't know one word they're saying.
Ask them
don't-
who Young Thug is when you get home. Ask your kids, say, who is Young Thug?
I interview a lot of these
I
things.
know
You haven't
do.
interviewed Young Thug yet. Please,
Yeah.
Jared, don't make that happen.
Well, rappers seem to like you. Everybody seems to like you.
I don't know why. I mean, these hip hop people come on, these rappers. Hey, we love you, Larry. Why? I'm not speaking their language. I mean, it's really
You don't
interesting.
listen to any rap music?
Yeah, is there any hip hop music you've listened to? Any songs that you would say off the top
I
of your
can't
head?
quote any.
Not even Jay-Z, Big Pimpin', nothing?
Nicki Minaj.
I know Jay-Z. Snoop Dogg's a friend.
Okay.
Is he a rapper?
Yes,
Snoop
he
is
is.
He's
smokes
definitely a
lot.
rapper.
He smokes a lot.
Smokes a lot.
Marijuana.
I tell you about Snoop. I've been on his show. He's been on my show. When Snoop comes in the room, you get high.
Oh, absolutely.
Just by his being in the room.
They call that loud.
Loud?
Loud, yeah. He's like, you got that loud on you. Let's call it a loud pack.
Okay,
The
so
smell
therefore,
is loud.
Strong
Yeah.
smell.
so therefore it affects the person who isn't even smoking.
There you
go.
Snoop has that effect. I like Snoop. Snoop's a very good guy.
You probably feel great around him when
He's
he
got-
walks in the room.
He's got great kids. He takes care of a lot of kids in his football league, and I give him a lot of credit. But I forget their names. They go so fast.
Do you remember the Chris Brown interview? That was big in our world.
Oh boy,
You remember that one when he had the bow tie on?
yeah, he wouldn't give me real answers. It was
Oh,
See? Turn the lights on. Now, in our world, when the
wait a
lights go
minute.
out like that, somebody gets
you got to
stabbed.
run.
Yeah, you got to
Okay,
run.
now,
In my world, when the lights go on in the studio, you run.
now, Chris wouldn't give you real answers.
the lights went on. I thought there'd be one less person here. Am I in the hood now?
Yeah, you're in the hood now.
You're in the
wow.
hood now.
I feel so hip. It was his first interview after the whole Rihanna thing,
Yeah.
and they put up pictures of her, and he was on with his mother, and I felt kind of sorry for him. Yet I'm told, because I'm not an expert in that area of music, that he's a brilliant artist.
He's very
Yes.
good. He's good.
He's a great
Yeah.
artist.
He's good.
One of the
Real
best.
good. Can dance his ass off.
Mhm.
Now, you're still very active. You work a lot. Do you
Yeah, I
ever,
do. I like work.
Do you ever see yourself like retiring?
I don't know what I do. I really don't. Retire to what?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what I would do. I thought I could retire, but I couldn't. I don't understand people who don't go to work.
Why did you leave CNN? Did you just get tired of everything?
Well, no, I always has had 3-4 year contracts, and the last time they came to me was a 1-year contract, and I saw the writing on the wall, and I guess they just wanted to go another direction.
That was a terrible direction. 'Cause that guy is sucks.
Yeah, that
Piers
didn't work
Morgan
out too
was
well for
terrible.
them. Piers Morgan.
Yeah, oh, that was. I didn't like his style. You know, I guess they, I don't know what. Now they have a different thing on every night at 9. I don't know what they have on.
On CNN, I think it's
They got a quiz show.
Anderson Cooper, I think. No, he
No,
comes
he's
on
on.
at 8.
Anderson is on at 8.
Yeah. I don't know who comes on at 9.
I don't know.
Why do you wear a white hat?
There's no specific reason why it's white,
you
but it's
bald?
cold. Am
Are
I
you bald?
No, I got hair. I just do. I need a shave.
He
though.
looks like a little marshmallow.
It's just cold, so I just wear a hat to keep myself warm. Kind of like you wear a sweater. You keep yourself warm.
Why are you tattooed?
He's cool.
All right, Larry King's doing an interview. Well, this is I have 4 kids, and these represent my kids. So one is
They're all
the
by
Big
his
Ben.
wife, by the way.
Yeah, all by my wife. It's Yee. Now, Big Ben represents my daughter. Her name is London, so I put the Big Ben clock. Then I have my daughter and son in the scroll, like the Statue of Liberty that holds. I call myself the mayor of New York
What's
City.
the cobweb
See,
for?
in our world,
He's like-
Larry, if you don't tattoo your kid's name on your body, you'll forget about them. Like people wonder why so many black guys don't be with their kids is because they don't have them tattooed on their body.
They
They
forget their
about
names.
them.
He's lying. He's lying, Larry.
No.
King. He's lying. Don't. He's lying. He is lying. I just like the tattoo.
You have tattoos?
Unfortunately, I
He has
do.
a Wolverine
He has a
tattoo. It's
Wolverine.
very
I got a
Wolverine
embarrassing.
from the X-Men on my arm and a bunch of other nonsense that I got
All right,
when I was
now,
younger.
why? I'm fascinated by the tattoo explosion. First, as a Jewish person, I'm going to take a guess that it hurts.
Absolutely.
It does hurt.
Why would you do that? I'm going to go in today and get some pain.
Body
Yeah,
artwork.
I don't know.
Because it seemed like it's the hip thing to do.
I just like
And then
it.
you grow older and you look at them and you regret every single one of them.
So you wouldn't get any more.
I mean, I want to get these covered up because I don't want to get them removed because it might leave scars.
So you wouldn't get more to cover the ones.
Yeah, I'm going to just get some good art on
And that's
my
what
body.
happened too. When I was in college, I got an ugly tattoo, and then you want to cover it and make it look better.
How do you cover it?
Well, you have to put
A different
more ink on
tattoo
top of
over
it.
it?
Like this was ugly angels here, and then it had a stupid saying here, so they have to.
What was the saying? I'm just curious.
It was actually envy, but it was done in a horrible way. It was just nasty and disgusting, stupid.
What does it cost to get a tattoo?
Back then it was like $100. Now it can go anywhere from $800 to $1,000.
Well, Larry and I don't have any tattoos.
How do you know Larry ain't got a tattoo? Larry ain't got a tattoo.
Are you kidding?
Oh,
He's
just making sure.
Jewish. If you get a tattoo, you can't be buried in
In a Jewish cemetery.
Yeah.
I don't know the reason for that either. I want to be frozen.
You told us.
Yeah.
Now, were you
So-
arrested in for grand larceny in 1991?
I was arrested on a charge. It all involved the Jim Garrison New Orleans case and the killing of John Kennedy.
And that wasn't 91. Hell, though. Right?
It wasn't 91, it was 71.
Yeah.
Envy.
And the case was thrown out of court. We borrowed money from a guy who was financing Jim Garrison's look into the Kennedy assassination. And then we couldn't reach him, and I had to pay taxes. So I said, "Can I give it to you the next time?" And he said, "Okay." And then it didn't work out, and he didn't get it. So they said, when they loaned me money, they said I took the money.
Yeesh.
But they threw it out of court.
Good.
But it went away.
You know, I always wondered, because you said you want to be frozen, and you made the joke about your 200 years later, if you woke up, you'd make new friends. And like my grandmother was like the oldest of all her brothers and sisters, and she outlived like her mom and her father, everybody, all her, her brothers, sisters, everybody. So how does it feel to like outlive people you've interviewed and things like that?
It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Sinatra said to me once, the toughest part of aging is your friends die. So far, I've been a little lucky. My best friend's wife died, but I have 6 friends, all of whom are around my age, are still living.
Good.
That we grew up together.
Oh, that's great.
So I count that, lucky, because you hate to bury your friends.
Anybody, right?
Part your friends, because that's a sad thing to think. But I think about dying. I worry about it because you can't do anything about it.
You can't do anything about it.
But then you also appreciate what a great life you've had.
Yeah, I know, but that doesn't work
Yeah,
all the time.
doesn't.
Yeah.
How do you want to be remembered? Because you've been on air when so many great people have died, and you see how the world stops in the memorials.
I think I want to be remembered as someone who informed that I made the world a little bit better by learning a lot of things about a lot of people, and I made people laugh, and I communicated well. And I know that when you communicate on a daily basis, like people listening to the show, if you guys are on for a long time, how long has the show been on?
It'll be 5
5
years.
5
this year.
years.
Let's say you go on, you're on 10 years. There are people out there, and you have no idea of the magnitude that you're in their lives. And they wake up in the morning, and they want to hear that Breakfast Club. And you become part of their lives. And all you're doing is just being you.
Right.
But you're attached to these people. And it's a great feeling that they have that feeling for you. That's why people get so sad when well-known people die.
Right.
When an actor dies, or when you read about a singer who dies, and they've entertained you. Through their gift, they've entertained you. So I'd like to say that I entertained people and I informed. Hey, is this a funeral?
No.
What are we doing?
No,
I'm starting to get depressed.
They might use it later when you pass. But no, it's not a funeral.
Charlamagne, you got
you.
a weird sense of humor.
Yeah.
We appreciate you joining us
Some
today.
people find him offensive.
I'm happy. Don't bring us up again.
Okay, I'm
It
good.
was one night. Why do you keep reminding
That's
me?
why I know he has no tattoos. He wouldn't get that tattoo.
Thank you, guys.
You still get it in sexually though, right? That's the thing.
Well, you need help. I had prostate cancer, so I had radiation. But you know something? You go on living.
Yeah.
Yeah. You keep. Life goes on.
That's kind of a personal question. You ask him why.
Listen, I'm looking forward to
Does he
being
like
81
back
years
shots or
old.
missionary? You got any other
I
questions?
told you this last time I saw you. I want my brain and my penis to work when I get 80 something.
And by the way, they are connected.
yes.
Not his. I don't think.
No, of course they're connected.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Larry King, we appreciate
Thank you,
joining
guys.
us today.
Mr. King, thank you
Great
for coming.
being with
Thank
you
you
on the
very
Breakfast
much.
Club.
Hey, there you have it. It's Larry King. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.